What's happening, golf fans? Christian Pedersen, Jack Kahn. We're back at you with another week of the San Diego Prep Insider Girls Golf Show. Just 1 week closer every time we come back to finally being in that glorious championship time of year. Kind of weird though, everything has moved up this year a couple of weeks. It feels weird to be here in like middle of October saying we should usually talk about in the middle of November, but it's rapidly approaching us. We've got championships going on all across all the different leagues in the next week or so, then a pair of weeks of play-ins, then the championships later this month. So where do you want to start?
Well, we had the city championship started on Monday.
Let's start there.
So the tournament went pretty much as expected. Lauren Gomez, Point Loma player, shot 69. She was followed by Catalin Utolde.
Hey, that's a good enough guess for me.
She's awesome from OLP. She's such a lovely young lady. She's a senior this year, shot 70. Mary Damien of Point Loma, who we talked about before, had a remarkable round. She closed out with 5 birdies, so we know what she's possible.
Well, and let me ask you this,
now.
because last year we saw with Point Loma, Lauren Gomez, obviously the individual success, but it didn't really translate quite as dynamically on the team side.
Right.
Does Lauren Gomez having some support like that in a really, I mean, Mary Damien is now an established commodity.
Absolutely.
Does having that 2 slot behind Lauren Gomez shift Point Loma's team potential?
Well, they've definitely been lifted, and we've talked about some of their other players. In the city championship, they finished second to Scripps Ranch, as we would have expected. Scripps really has the depth there, so. But it moves them up to 6th overall as a team, and I think that's about the right place for them. They might be able to. It's close in there for 4, 5, and 6.
Well, explain to the people the numbers for the championship. You're boiled down to 6 golfers, correct?
Correct. So you have 6 players on your team, and you count 5 of the 6 scores.
So Point Loma, 2 of them secured. They just got to figure out the other 3 scores and how they can get from that 6th spot up to the 2nd.
Well,
so
what 4, and it's just a little trickier as they get into that 5th and 6th spot. So.
Anything else from the city tournament?
We had, as we talked about, the Point Loma, OLP, and La Jolla rounded out the field there. Match play started the following day on Tuesday, 16 players. That's now been cut to 4 players.
Okay.
So we have Lauren, Mary, Brooke Ryback, who's also a great player, and we mentioned last week Christy Izuquiza.
Close enough.
Okay.
We're trying,
Terrible,
folks.
yeah, but she's the young lady that's been associated with Pro Kids. That's so terrific, and so they'll compete today or Thursday for the individual award there.
Did want to bring up just a couple of the other league races going on right now, because we are in all of those championships.
Yeah.
The Avocado leagues, both East and West. El Camino is showing really strongly in Avocado East.
Yep.
They are taking the top 2 spots with Jasmine Laval individually leading them there. Avocado West, Torrey Pines, obviously the favorite there. No surprise. Coastal League, Brooke is having an amazing season for you guys. Eastern, we got Lynn Pham at University City is in there. I'm just going through the 1s and the 2s here. You can check out all the results on the CIFSDS.org website.
I want to circle back too. You mentioned a couple of, you mentioned El Camino, and it's really fun. They have a set of twins there, and they're freshmen. That's the Jasmine and Janie.
Leave out.
Yeah, they're playing great. There's a couple of players for Bonita Vista, which is another team where you have Hannah Hugar and Hannah Cancel that
We're getting to the South Bay Leagues. I got them on the docket.
There you go. They're they'll be in there as individuals, even though their teams won't make it.
And that's sort of what we're talking about right now, is the individual leaders in each of these. To hit out into the Grossmont Hills League Helix with the pair of top golfers out there, Christina Lau leading that charge. Grossmont Valley, Steel Canyon having the top spot there with Annika, as you mentioned.
Right.
In We go all the way out into the Imperial Valley. Vincent Memorial is our top with Jimena Ramirez. The Mesa League with Mater Dei Catholic Brianna Navarroza is in charge there. That's going to be that's going to be dominated by Mater Dei Catholic for the foreseeable future, right?
Well, there's no doubt, and with Mater Dei, we're getting into individual players. They have 3 players in the top 10 now with Vanna Montemayor and Istabali Garcia, and so that's kind of fun that they've got that additional depth, and we've mentioned them before, but great team, and they're clearly pulling away as well.
Speaking of pulling away, in the Palomar League, top 3 spots belong to Rancho Bernardo. Interesting, though, the only one with a negative differential is Stephanie Heimler. She seems to be getting better every week.
She does, and she'll definitely be there come the end of the season. So I think in an individual, but their team, of course, they have an excellent team. As we know, they are the number 2 team, and on any given day, we'll see.
In the South Bay League, we have Sweetwater holding the top 2 spots with Jaron Josephat as the top golfer for them. Out in the Valley League, we have Claire Kolsnar from Monta Vista, and closing it off with Western League with Lauren Gomez leading that one. So that's just the top 2 or 1 spots in all those. Like I said, you can find all of that, Coach. That's a pretty wide-ranging group that not every one of those girls will be represented in the finals, but is there 1 or 2 that we haven't addressed yet that you think might be a really interesting sleeper in the individual side?
Wow, not that we haven't addressed. I mean, I feel like it's
pretty locked. The field is pretty locked in at this point.
Pretty locked in from an individual standpoint, but a lot of fine players, and the differentials of 1 or 2 shots. We've got a gaggle of them in there, and that's why we play the game. So it's going to be really fun to see at Admiral Baker, and that'll start on the 29th, and then day 2 will be the 31st. Happy
Halloween on that one. See if they let everyone golf in their costumes.
That's right. Some people would say they are.
So that's the CIF Championships. Let's work back from that, though, because the playoffs have to happen to get there. So you want to give the people that information and those dates?
Sure. So we'll do the seedings for the playoffs on October 18th. That'll be followed by the first round of play-in, October 22nd and 23rd.
That's on the individual side and the team side?
Just the team side.
Just the team side.
Correct. And then the second round of team play-ins will take place a couple of days later, the 24th and 25th. So.
Then we get back to that finals, like you mentioned, on the 29th and the 31st of October. It's going to be an amazing finish. This season just it flew by, as well as we mentioned. Everything started 2 weeks earlier, but this season seems to somehow find a way to always be better than the last season. And the race has really got so interesting with 3 former champions on the individual side. Feels like everyone's a former champion on the team side. It's going to be an amazing finish, and we will be here for all of it. You guys got a match this week, closing up that city championship?
Right. We have our city championship on Monday, actually. So that'll be a lot of fun. We'll be down at Mission Trails for that, and love our format this year. We're doing something a little bit different because we have quite a disparity in our league of skill level, and so we're going to have those qualifying as a team and individual playing, from full distance, but to give some of the other players an opportunity, we're going to have, we call it the Nifty 150, but they'll be playing from 150 in, so they can participate in that conference championship, although their scores won't count. It's really fun. Love to see it.
Well, that is certainly something interesting, and thank you very much for sharing that, Coach. Thank you very much for being with us. To you guys, for both of us, we will see you next week as we tie a bow in the regular season and look forward to the playoffs.
Yes, sir.